In this lecture, we'll see the string method in JavaScript. So as you can see, we have all the string methods which we'll use in our lecture. I'll open my VS Code and show you one by one what are the string methods. Alright, so we'll use all of the string methods progressively. These are all the used string methods in the different tasks. We've studied some of them in the array method. The array methods and the strings methods are little related to each other, like length and include and slice and concat. So there's some like relationship between them. Sometimes it gets confusing, but it's not that hard actually. So as you can see, I created a variable and wrote the hello word inside of it. I saved it. Now I'll print it on the document.write. So now you can see my hello word. Okay, so first we'll use the length string method and we will see what result we'll get. Okay, so now I'll make another variable named b. I'll call my variable a and then I'll write length. I save it. I'll call my b variable. I save it. And now as you can see, what's the meaning of 11? In JavaScript, we have a method called length in string. And in string, we can check like how many words are there. And it will tell us automatically as we can see here. Alright, so if I just write something randomly, I save it. So see, it's 29 here. Like this, we can find our keywords. Alright, so definitely every method is being used for a different purpose. Like mostly sometimes you have to master some specific type of methods and some specific type of things in a project, so maybe you'll use one method and not the other. Okay, so we also have the two lowercase. So now I'll use in this one you have to write the capital L of lower. I'll save it, and now the whole hello word is small. So if I write this whole sentence in capital letters, it's still showing in small because I've used the two lowercase method. So this is a little CSS trick, like a little CSS combines things, but if you want to use the lowercase, it's also possible. So we can do this in the CSS script. But sometimes we need not to jump to CSS. Like we don't always need to go to the CSS file while working in JavaScript. That's why we used this method. So to stay focused and to stay in one single location, like in just this file. Alright, so now I'll do the uppercase. All my text will change to uppercase. As you can see, I used the uppercase, I saved it, and here you go, it changed to uppercase. So after doing that, we have include that you have studied earlier in the array. Like if you want to find something, we will find it from include. I will write include and we'll save it. And if I want to find something, I'll write from include, I'll write hello, I save it, and as you can see, it's showing false. So if I make H capital letters, then it's showing true. So this is how you can search for it. So we looked at this in the arrays. Okay. We also have starts with and end with. So in start with, if you want to find something in string, it's the same as include, but in include, we search for the whole word. But if you want to search for the small part, you can use just like start with. When I put the HE alone and save it, it's showing false because I did not try the H in capital letters. So now, as you can see, if I change that, it's showing me true. Okay, so if I write LO, it will be false because it's not the starts with. So starts with is just like a small method and it's very convenient and useful for us to use. Okay, so let's now see what happens like when we use the end with. I write LD in capitals, I save it, it's showing true. If I make the D smaller, then it will be false because my L is capitalized and the D is small. So if I want to find something, we can find it with the end with as well. Alright, so after that I'll search it. Like in the search, if my values are not coming, it will be displayed by the index number. So if I put the D alone and save it, like the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's showing 10 because its index value is 10. Okay, so in the arrays we assume the first value is 0, but in the string it's showing the tens value, because in this string space we also assume as a value, and that's why it's showing the tenth index. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's how we search for index numbers in our string. And now on to the next lecture. In this lecture, we learn more about the methods in string, which are the match index, the index of, and the last index. So first of all, I'll make a variable and print the value of string. JavaScript is a great language. I did not put the equal, so I'm putting it now. I save it. I'll print my statement. Okay, so actually I'm not going to print the statement. I'm using my match method. I create a new variable with the name of b. I'll select my previous variable and I'll write match. The match method is mostly used when any word is getting used again and again in our string, so it changes into an array. Like for example, here I'm using the is twice here, and here I'm using the is and g, so we'll write is with the two slashes and then the g. G means it will search globally. It means that it will search in the whole string, and when it finds any value more than once, it will make its array. So how does it happen? Let's see how does it happen. So I'll write the document to try it. I'll print the value of b, I save it, and as you can see, it found the is twice and it has printed it. So now I put the a here, and as you can see, it has made an array. So this is how we can make things into an array. Alright, so now if I write I, comma, it has changed the I into an array 3 times. So this is how we can use the match method. And after this, I'll use the index of method. So I'll copy this. Now I'll paste this and I save it. Now I'll use the index of method. The index of helps us to find the starting value. So I'm writing the is, I save it. And now it's showing that is on the 11th number index. If we calculate it from here, it's the 11th number index. So if I put a here, so a is on 1 because the 0 is 1. That's why it's displaying 1. Alright, so after that, we can also use the last index of. Okay, by doing so, you have to be careful that the I of the index and the O of the of should be capitalized. So I corrected the spelling of the last. So as you can see, it's showing 22. By following this method, it's printing the value of the last part. So if I include one more is, then it's showing 27. It's printing the value of the last part. Okay, so we can find the index of any value in our string with this method. Alright, so now we'll use the replace method. Now I've printed it, so for creating multiple cursors, you have to press just on Alt, and then you have to click where you want to create the cursor. Okay, so as you can see, I've created 3 cursors here. Now what will I do? If I need to replace anything, I can do it. So I want to replace JavaScript with C++. I'll write JavaScript here, and since I want C++, instead of JavaScript, I'll write C++ in inverted commas. And I'll save it. And now I can replace the things I need to replace by using the replace method. So if I want to replace is with R, then I'll write is in inverted commas, then I'll put the comma, and then I'll write the R. So as you can see, I got is in the place of R. So if you want R in every place where we have the is, then we'll use the expression name R, and then I'll write globally so that it will be changed from everywhere, and I save it now. Okay, so as you can see, we got R. If I put the A, then it will change where we had the A. So this is how we can change our things by using the replace methods. And now on to the next lecture. In the previous lectures, you learned about the string methods. In this lecture, we'll look deeper into other string methods. So to do that, I'm using the trim method here. I'll show you how to use it. So first of all, I'll comment this line, and here I'll use the alert function. You can understand properly how to use it. So I use the alert. I put the variable a. If I put some space here and I save it, the space can be seen in front of you. So to remove this space, there is a method named trim. I'm removing this inside area, as you can see as well. I'm removing it, so I save it now. And now, as you can see in front of you, I trimmed this here, but I did not print the variable b, so I'll print my variable b. I'll save it, so this space will be removed. I refresh it again, and now, as you can see, my space has been removed. So this trim method is mostly used in the form text. In the form text, when the user submits his data, and if he accidentally puts some space, then to remove that space, the trim method is used. So after that, we have the car AT and the car code AT. Usually, we call them character at and character code at. So now I'll show you why we use them. So I'm commenting this part and I'm making a new one. Now I'm changing this one. I'm removing the alert function. I save it. And now, as you can see, this function has been printed here. So now I'll use the character at function. This helps us to find the index value when we write something. So I wrote 20. It's displaying the index, which is on 20. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on. So it's displaying the one which corresponds to the 20th positions, like the one that corresponds to the number 20. Okay, so if I put 3 here, I save it. It shows me A on the 3. So why it's showing me this? Because 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I put 2, then it will show me V. So this is basically how we can know what value we have on a certain number, on a certain position. So this is how we can use the car at. Okay, so right now, these things will not seem very important to you, but when we work on bigger projects, then the combination of these things are used. Like, we'll combine so many concepts that we studied together, and you will see like the practical use of all of this in some concrete real life projects. Alright, that's why we need to learn like all these methods and syntax before moving forward. Alright, so after that, we have the character code AT. You always need to check the spelling while using these methods. So now we'll check the character code AT. Its role is to find the sky code. I'm showing you what is sky code. So now you are watching at the sky code. So these at A, B, C, D, T, they are all our sky code, and these are their numbers. So when you write these numbers by using our methods, then these characters will be shown. They are all sky code. So we'll learn these as well. But the first priority is that how to check the sky code. If you write 72, it will show me H. If 75, then we get K. If we do like 107, then the small k. So these ones are for the capital letter, and these ones are for the small letter. Okay, so now let's do some practice exercises. That's how we can check our sky code and VS Code. So if I write 20 here, I save it. It's showing me 116. So why this is happening? Let's see. Now we'll find 116 here. So actually this 116 is not making any sense. I've written in the quotation marks this. So I'm moving my commas. I save it. And yeah, let me tell you so actually how to do it. I want to find the sky code of C. Its index number is 012345. I'll write 5, I save it, and as you can see its code is 99. So now I'll go to my table. I see that the code of C is 99. So this is how we can find the sky code and which sky code has like what decimal. So if I write 20, I save it. 116 has been shown. I think 20 is the T. So this is how we can find the decimal value of the sky code. After that, you have like from character code. I'll write the string directly. After writing the string, I'll write the from character code. I save it. And now I'll write some values here. So if I write 65, then A appears. If I write like 110, then N. If I write some other value like 120, then the X appears. So this is basically how we can write our sky code in the string by using from character code. Let me show you the table again. Alright, so as you can see, when I write like 120, then this sky code appears. If you want to check your code by writing the index number, then it will happen by the character code at. If you want to check your sky code by writing the decimal code, then you can do it with from character code, but it will not work in the string, so you'll have to write the character code by using the string method. Okay, so now we are moving towards our next method, which is the concat. You've already seen the concat, so the concat is used to join two arrays. We saw that in the arrays method. So now, when we have to make two arrays into one, then we use this, like we use the concat. And the same process is with string. So when we have to join strings, we use the concat as well. If you don't know this, then you can go to the previous lectures. Like if you forgot how the concat works, then you can refer to the previous lectures. It's pretty easy. Like it just like helps us join things together. Alright, so after that we have like the split. The split is when we have to convert our string into an array, then we can do it by split. You know, like the split means to break. So we'll use split when we need to break. Now I'm calling A and using the split method, so I save it. And now as you can see, this has been displayed. I want to split it from is, so I'll use the I save it. Alright, and now as you can see, it has made an array from is, which was starting. Alright, so this is how you can use the split method. Now I'll use the repeat method. I save it. In the repeat, we can repeat our string as we want. So I'm putting a break here. I save it. If I want to repeat my string 10 times, then I'll write 10. So this is how we can use the repeat method. After that, we have the slice method. So we saw in the array method how to use the slice and the splice. So the splice is used from starting. Alright, so I'll write 3. 3 is the index value. So if you remember, it was like 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so after the A, it will print the remaining statement. I save it. So as you can see, it started printing from 3. If I put 4, then my string method will start from 4 and will go till the end. So if you want it to end at a specific area, then I'll put 4 and 6. I save it. It included the 4th one, the 5th one, but did not include the 6th index. So in JavaScript, it does not include the last parameter we give. If I'm putting 8, then it will not include the 8th one. If I put 10, then it will include from the 4 to 9 index values. So this was our slice method. After that, we have a method with the name of substr. So I saved it. It's used for, in the slice, we give the parameters from 4 to 10, but the information it was collecting was from 4 to 9. Okay, but in the substr, it collects the information till the parameter we give, like until the parameter that we give. In the str, it has ended its information till 10. So it works similarly like slice, but slice do not include the last parameter. Substr includes the last one as well. Like that's the difference. Slice do not include the last parameter, but substr includes the last one as well. Okay, so after that we have the substring. It works similarly like the slice, so I do not need to explain this. After that we have the toString. So what is the toString? I'm removing this from parameters. I save it, and now as you can see, this is my string value. So if I take any numeric value, 30, I save it. This is my numeric value, but when I use the toString method, this numeric value has been changed into a string. So if I check by writing type of, I save it, it's showing me string. If I do not use this method and comment it and call A here, I save it. So as you can see, it's showing me numeric value. So this is how you got to know that this method is used in string. Alright, so after that we have the last method, which is the value of. By using this method, we can use the value when printing the statement by default. And yeah, so basically we've seen this in the array as well, like when we talked about arrays. And yeah, so basically some of the methods were related to arrays. Alright, that was it for this lecture, and now on to the next one.